Is this thing on? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, what's up, everybody? Back with another one. And today, I want to talk to you a little bit about enlightenment and how the term enlightenment changed over time. The ancients used to use the term enlightenment, and they would say that someone's enlightened, and that means they're like consciously aware of the how the world works, and they can see through the veil of bullshit, and they can see the truth. Over time, though, that veil has been lifted, and we used to say that the enlightenment was like being woke. Like if you were enlightened, then you were woke. Well, now over time, woke has changed because so many people wanted to be woke because that meant enlightened, and that meant like that they had wisdom. So other people who heard about it wanted to be woke. So they would say that they were woke, but then they started doing things saying that that was woke things, but it was really just regular stuff. It wasn't enlightening things or spiritual stuff. It was just regular old random wacky stuff. Like, so being woke used to be a positive thing. Now it means a wacky thing. It means that you're weird now. You're goofy. But it's like woke used to be a good thing, and now they changed the word into a bad thing. And then in a similar aspect, like this is like how the people add the murdering of JFK and 9/11 to conspiracy lists to discredit those events and make it seem unreal that the government killed JFK and all those people on 9/11. But they like put those JFK and 9/11 with all the other conspiracies, so you think as soon as you're talking about them, it just discredits what really happened to 9/11 and JFK because conspiracy. As soon as you say it's a conspiracy, it means it's probably fake. So if you add JFK and 9/11 to like a topic like aliens, you could discredit JFK and 9/11 pretty fast. And that's exactly how this works with being woke and enlightened. So woke used to mean being enlightened. Now it means wacky or weird. A spiritual journey turned into a laughing stock now in the world in turmoil. Now woke means you could be a man and have a vagina at the same time. This is a distraction so you don't really wake up and become enlightened. They want everyone to feel woke, so then no one's woke. Because everybody wants to be equals on this planet, and they don't realize that we're not equals. We're all created differently. We all have different paths, and we all have different journeys on this earth. Not everybody has to be the same thing. Not everybody has to be black, or not everybody has to be white, or not everybody has to be blue. There's differences in humans, and that's not a bad thing. That's something that we should embrace. We shouldn't have to try to unite and separate us by saying that we're part of a group that we're not really part of. We shouldn't say that we're woke if we're really not enlightened. You shouldn't say that you're woke if you got blue hair and you're trans. That don't mean that you're woke. That just means that you're trans and you got blue hair. You're not woke, but people of this generation think that it's hip to be woke, and it's not hip to be woke at all. Being woke used to mean that you were enlightened. It means that you have took the time to take the spiritual journey and have filtered through all the bullshit and went through the road. You know what I mean? You've taken on the challenge and you've overcame it, and now you have wisdom because of it. That was enlightenment, and that was being woke. Now woke could simply mean anything. You could pour a pop on your head, and you could say, "Well, that's woke." That's woke now, and then see, it just discredits all like how woke, and it discredits the word woke because woke used to be a good thing. When you used to say that somebody was woke, they'd be like, "Damn, like that guy is like a spiritual teacher. He's like a shaman." But now you say somebody's woke, you're like, oh yeah, that guy's woke. You're like, oh, stay away from him. You know what I mean? And that just shows you like why would you want to stay away from them? If it was ancient times and someone says they're woke, you would want to be around that person because you would want to know what they know. Nowadays, someone says they're woke, you want to stay away from them as far as you can. So does being woke mean that you're just smarter than everybody today? Is that what they're trying to say? It is. I don't know what the narrative is. I don't know why people embrace the woke culture that they have today. Like, how does having blue hair and being trans make you woke? How does that say that you are awakened? You know what I mean? If you listen to the story of Siddhartha, the Buddha, he was enlightened, and you can understand the journey that he went through, seeing being born a prince, and then leaving all his luxuries and going to a time where he he's like I've had this life, this privileged life. I want to see the rest of the world for what it really is. So he left his privileged life and went to experience the world for what it really was, to see death and famine and all the things that poverty and all the things that come with you know a slightly unstable world. And he's seen that, and then he came back, and then he reflected on it, and it's like his whole life, his outlook on life changed, and he ascended into the Buddha. That was a good thing. People adored Buddha, and they adored the enlightening journey, and being a bodhisattva or an enlightened one was a good thing. People would spend their whole lives to become one of those things. Now, people who spent their whole life being become awakened are thrown in the same category as people who are just batshit crazy. So it makes it seem like the people who are awakened and really smart and have lots of intelligence and wisdom, they're actually cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Just like you say that you're talking about conspiracies and you say, yeah, well, there's aliens and there's lizard people and there's stuff on the other side of the moon and this kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden you get to JFK and 9/11, which were real events, which really had sinister stuff happen that were not by the way that they've been presented to us. And we still throw JFK and 9/11 in those categories to discredit everything. You know what I mean? So if you want to discredit something, you say it's a conspiracy, and people stop talking about it. They talk about it for a little while, just because of the hype of it being a new conspiracy, and then all of a sudden they discredit it. Every time it gets brought up, no one wants to thoroughly investigate it because it's been discredited just by putting that term conspiracy on it. They created the term conspiracy theory. Well, they said it was during the JFK times, the assassination, but I heard it was even to a president before him who was assassinated. And they created it when he got assassinated to change public perception about um, what really happened. And it works very well. I mean, it's a masking of what's really going on, and that's the same thing that's happening with the woke and enlightenment culture. So did JFK get shot? Yeah. Did the government do it? I don't know if the government did it, but there's a lot of suspicious stuff on the Zapruder films and stuff. If you ask a lot of questions, stuff don't add up. Like on 9/11, the day before 9/11, there was $2.3 trillion that the government said that they were missing. Then all of a sudden on 9/11, nobody's talking about that no more. And our towers are attacked, and everybody's trying to unite and go after the bad guy, Osama bin Laden, and we're all uniting, and everybody, the whole nation's happy, and everybody's being strong. And then we go to war and kill Saddam Hussein, who had nothing to do with 9/11, supposedly. So it's like, what did we go to war for? Like that whole thing was a setup. They took down those towers to put us into war intentionally. Those towers went down as a murder from people in the government. They killed those people. People in the government knew that those planes were going to attack. Alex Jones said that there was going to be an attack in June of that year, and it actually happened. And he said Osama bin Laden was going to be the guy that they blamed for it. Trump said something that a while back, prior to 9/11 happening, also that said something like that we're going to be going after this guy named Osama bin Laden because Wall Street had heard about Osama bin Laden for a long time. So it's like these, all this stuff is just used to throw dirt on the truth. You know what I mean? And it's like, why wouldn't we want to investigate this and figure out what happened? Well, if you investigate what really happened, then you find out who really did those things. And then they're to blame, and then they're the bad guy, and then you're no longer the bad guy, which you've been, and now you're the enemy of the state. You see what I'm saying? So you go against the public norm and say that JFK got shot by the government, or that the government knew that the towers were going to come down on 9/11 beforehand. That's crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy, and people will shame you for those things. When in reality, that's how it went down. That's exactly how it went down. So there's no truth in the world anymore. You used to be able to ask somebody, "Hey, what's that pop cost?" And they would say 50 cents, and you go to the pop machine and it costs 50 cents exactly. You say to that somebody nowadays, "Hey, what'd you get that pop for?" Or how much they selling pop for down at the store. They'll say it costs $1. You go down there and it's $5. So it's like the information that you get these days are not credible. They want to divide us and separate us as much as they can, so we don't realize that we are being overruled by people, humans that think that they are God, and we allow them to do that. And people are so fucking dumb that they will act like their military gives a fuck about them. The first thing that the military does when people fucking riot is they go and try to fucking stop the rioting to get society back on, or fucking in a normal state of fucking heightened awareness. You see what I'm saying? Like, you think the military is here to protect us from foreign enemies? No, the military is here so if people start rioting against a big corporation that killed millions of people, then the government has a way to defend that corporation. So the military is a bunch of evil people. They're only working for the people in charge, and they're killing people under the guise of freedom and doing benefit for the world. But they're really just, the people in the military are really just terrorists, and they're just out killing people for no reason. And that's the truth. People in Iraq and Afghanistan, all the people that died there, they died in vain for no reason. Like, it wasn't because everybody that died in Afghanistan and Iraq did not die because of 9/11. They died because George Bush is in a secret society and he was trying to take over the world. Him and Dick Cheney. And was that a conspiracy? No, that is the truth. But is anybody going to believe that? No, because it's been discredited. That's what I'm trying to get at. And I know I'm going back and forth between this woke and enlightenment culture and 9/11 and JFK, but it all ties together because it's a similar instance. And if you understand that 9/11 was manipulated, and they discredited that by changing the wordplay, then that's exactly how woke and enlightenment got abused as well. And woke used to be a good thing. Enlightenment used to be a good thing. Nowadays, enlightenment and woke don't mean nothing. It just means that you watched a YouTube video and you've seen the word and you've been able to regurgitate it out of your memory. It don't mean you know anything about it. It doesn't mean that you are that. It just means that you've heard the word and now you claim it because people of today, they want to feel important and they want to claim something that is really not theirs. Just like America always has. This is a nation founded on stealing the land from its people and killing all its natural inhabitants. What if somebody just came in and just since we're here and we're isolated now and we're comfortable living, if somebody just came out of the fucking space and just killed all of us, how would we feel? That's exactly how the Native Americans felt. The Native Americans should slowly repopulate and kill everybody in the government just as a payback. The government should owe the whole world, the whole nation, to those people. The people who print the money in the United States, it shouldn't be anybody but the Native Americans because that's whose land we took. But no, we give the printing of the money of the United States to centralized banking systems in Europe. The people who control the money in the United States are people that nobody in the United States has ever even seen or heard of. You know what I mean? So it's like, why do we use somebody's money that we don't even know? We don't even care about them, And we let them control our military, we let them control our government, we let them control our presidents, we let them control our policy, we let them control our food supply, we let them control our water supply, we let them put poisons and toxic elements in our water and our food, and we let them poison us. And it needs to stop. Sometime we really wake up and be like, something's fucked up here. We need to go back to the way we used to be, the more conservative our outlook on life. You know, quit being so liberal, trying to come up with the trends and go with the flow of traffic for the nuance of things, and go back to those old, you know, family values and spiritual teachings and guidance from the Creator that people used to have through all time and generations from every part of the map. I mean, this world, they act like we're trying to be more united because we're using technology that makes us more interconnected, but in reality, the more we get interconnected through these applications like cell phones and the internet, the more it actually divides us and makes us weaker. So the more being enlightened used to be a good thing, now it means you're weaker and you're more woke. It doesn't make the person who's been enlightened and spent their whole life being an enlightened being, it doesn't make them feel important anymore. It discredits that whole spiritual teaching and that whole spiritual journey that could have took a whole lifetime to accomplish. And they just wipe it under the bridge like it ain't nothing. An enlightened person, a truly enlightened person, there might have only been 1 or 10 of them on the earth at any given time. Like a spiritual master, an ascended master like Jesus or something, there's only one of those kind of people that are on the planet at any given time. And if you discredit the enlightenment, then you discredit everything that person is going to say or do before they even do it, because they're a people of that kind of nature. So what do you think? Are you enlightened? Do you have the wisdom, the sacred knowledge, the intelligence that is beyond the veil, the truth of reality? Or are you woke? Are you hip? Are you happy, healthy, great, smart? Are you up to date with the trends? Are you woke? Or are you enlightened? Are you both, or are you neither? Something to think about. Remember, there are things that's called misdirection in this world. And when something's going a certain way and it has a certain trajectory and it's making a certain movement, sometimes people throw a counter tool defensive out there to make you look in a different direction because they don't want you looking in the direction you were looking in, because that direction might have you uncover something that you don't necessarily want to uncover. And what is that secret, you may ask? Well, that's where the spiritual guidance and journey takes place. So you can find out the truth for yourself, and maybe you'll rise up and be able to unite the people under one guise. Or maybe you'll just end up being woke and hip and wacky and weird and not enlightened. That's all I got for this one. Like, share, subscribe, comment, follow for more. I know I said I was going to start the Bible in Genesis 2 on this one, but I skipped over that for this video temporarily. I will be back in Genesis 2, 1, starting after this video. That's going to be the next step. And so I got to get back into my reading of Genesis 2 so I can have some things to talk about there. And if anybody has anything else to say, please let me know. And I really want to know what you think about the comparison that I made between JFK and 9/11 and how woke and enlightened used to be, like the similarities between woke and enlightened and JFK and 9/11. What was your take on that? How do you think that I intermingle those two things? Because I thought it was an interesting perspective on how those things relate. Yeah, but that's all I got. I hope everybody had a good one listening to this one, and I hope you stay tuned. Money God.